Joining us now is Assemblymember Mark Gonzales. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you and many other Democratic leaders spoke out against David Huerta's arrest. Governor Newsom actually released a statement saying that he's a respected leader, a patriot, and an advocate for working people. He really has kind of become a symbol of these protests.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, David Huerta was just out there doing what he always does. He's been a great friend of me for the last 20 years. He was out there making sure that he was witnessing, as we've been telling folks to do, not to interfere with any of the actions that are taking place, these illegal raids when they're taking folks from their workplace. He was there simply to observe and got pushed, as we've seen in all the videos, and taken in against his will. He did nothing wrong, and that's what we're going to continue to push because he didn't.
What do you have to say to the claims that he deliberately obstructed federal agents, and no matter who someone is, they don't have the right to interfere with federal authorities carrying out their duties? We've heard this, talked about even with Tom Homan when it comes to the governor and the mayor of Los Angeles.
Completely delusional. We all saw the same video. He was walking in front of the gate. There was a van that was trying to hit him. He was simply just trying to walk out of the way. He put his hands up like this. And then when you saw the video, they pushed him, knocked him onto the ground, turned him around, and immediately tried to arrest him. And so the video shows, the evidence is right there. What ICE and those enforcement officers on the federal side were doing. They baited him, they pushed him, and they knocked him down. And now, unfortunately, they're using him as an example and as a poster child of this to showcase the fact that they're trying to take over our democracy here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I mean, it is great that there's video, especially for instances like this right now. I know you live downtown. What's your overall insight into the protests? The leaders, even who are trying to crack down on the protests, are saying peaceful protests are fine. But then you see someone like David Huerta arrested. You claim that he's done nothing wrong. You see the video evidence. Everyone's watching. How does that make you feel about the protest and the right to peacefully protest overall?
Look, the goal here is to continue to tell people to peace, to go out there, keep the peace, protest peacefully, not looting, not breaking windows, not trying to steal from our small businesses. We all saw Little Tokyo last night. I was watching your footage from here in Sacramento when you can see folks who are just, spray painting on murals, things that make the culture of our community what it is, and tells people that Los Angeles is supposed to be safe. These folks who are out there who are anarchists, who are antagonizing people, stealing Adidas is not going to bring these families back. Stealing jewelry and taking from small immigrant businesses who are in Los Angeles who provide jobs to us is not going to bring those people back. And it's going to continue the raids, and it feeds right into the Trump narrative that our folks are unruly. And that's why they have the National Guard here. That's why he's bringing the Marines to Los Angeles, because we can't hold our own. But he is the one that incited these riots.
Well, I mean, that is, really the discussion point, I think, now with bringing in some of these extra troops and things. I mean, Sheba and I both have family members who live outside of Los Angeles. There's the belief out there that the entire city is on fire and that this is very, very necessary to be bringing in these troops. You have somebody like Sarah Huckabee Sanders being asked as a governor this morning, do you think that this is a good response? And she said, well, I think it's absurd to allow what's going on in California to take place. So the right is using it now as a talking point. Some of these videos and things that you're seeing, this is, we've never seen this before. I asked our attorney general just a little bit ago, in Minnesota, when George Floyd happened, there was the argument that governor did not make the right decision by delaying calling in the National Guard for so long. So with these images, with history, do you think there's a place for these talking points to kind of be out there, and how do you challenge them?
Sure. Look, the reality is that the Republicans are taking clips that they are seeing on the press, on the negative side of it, and utilizing it as their entire basis for their argument to have the National Guard here. The reality is that National Guard is only defending two places, the federal building on the west side and the downtown Los Angeles location. They are not participating in any of this, nor are they helping our LAPD officers, our sheriff officers, and our mutual aid in that area. There are positive protests that are happening. There are drum circles, there are prayer circles, there are people who are staying on the sidewalks, there are people who are protesting positively. So let's not utilize just those few clips of people who are burning trash cans, which, by the way, we are completely against and denouncing. But the reality is that that is not what this protest is about. And by the way, none of this would have ever happened if he had started these raids last week in the first place. Let's be clear as to where this uprising had come from this Trump administration on its political payback to create a distraction from the reality of the tariffs that we're going through, his relationship with Elon Musk that has completely fallen apart in the public eye. This is a distraction. He's utilizing our Los Angeles stage as his political playground.
And very quickly, did you get a chance to speak with David, and is he doing okay?
I've not had a chance to speak to David yet. I'm here this week in Sacramento. We have to pass the budget this week, and I'm focused on that. I will try to contact him. I can as soon as the end of the week, but I do know that he is in good spirits. He's needs to relax, but he is understanding his next steps, and he is the face of the positive movement. And he did not, as you all saw in the clip, mean to get arrested like that. But again, he was not putting himself in that situation. The ICE folks that were there pushed him again and arrested him against his will, and we will continue to fight this with him. And here in Sacramento, we will continue to be a champion of David Huerta, as he's been a champion for many of us.
All right, Assemblymember Mark Gonzales, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.
It's easy to forget there's a budget to be passed.
I know that there's lots of other things happening. Mark, thank you.